Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotment. You join me here today on what's been a lovely afternoon actually, a lovely spring afternoon. It's finally feeling like things are kicking off, everything's starting to grow. So yeah, hopefully we've got some good months ahead here. And this also marks 2 years since I started these videos, which it seems incredible that I'm quite proud of sort of what we've done here, and also proud that actually people are still watching. So thank you for sort of following whichever point you picked this up over the last couple of years. It's a lockdown project, the very first lockdown, so to get to 118 episodes feels like a good thing. But while that's all very interesting, I'm sure you'll agree, we are here to talk about whiskey. And what is the Allotment Dram today, I hear you ask? Well, it's a new whiskey. It's a very exciting whiskey. It's from Ireland, and it's the Jameson 15-year-old single pot still. This is part of the Remastered collection, which you'll see on the label there of my little sample. So obviously Jameson, very famous, the biggest selling Irish whiskey brand by absolutely miles. They absolutely annihilate everyone else in terms of sales, but I was very lucky to get invited over to Dublin for the launch of this particular whiskey, but also the series that it's attached to was launched as well. So very lucky to be over in Dublin a couple of weeks ago for the launch, which is a lot of fun, as these trips always are, of course. But what can I tell you about this? Well, the Remastered refers to, it's one of a two-part series. So it's called the Jameson Anthology, and there's a very loose, slightly tenuous link to music sort of within the marketing and the press release, but I'll leave you to look that up if you're interested. But it's basically the Jameson Anthology is going to form, there's going to be whiskies in two different sort of paths. So the first one is Remastered, and this is going to be sort of modern versions of old classics from the Jameson range. So for example, this one, the 15-year-old single pot still, was last available in the year 2000, so it's been out of the game for over 20 years. So this has been a remastered, not an exact replica, but a sort of modern take, and obviously different master distiller as well. It's a sort of brainchild of Kevin O'Gorman, who's the master distiller and blender for Irish distillers who own Jameson right now. So Remastered is the first one, which is going to be these sort of versions of old classics, modern versions. The other one will be Remixed, and this is a sort of innovative look at what Jamesons can be and where Jameson can go in the future. So there'll be some experimentation and some innovation in there as well. So two quite nice defined things that they've sort of come up with there. But what can I tell you about this particular release? Well, it was launched this last week. It's actually only available via two ballots. The first one was to the Jameson sort of members club called the Barrel Club, which was on April the 4th. And then on April the 8th it went on to a ballot to the general public. So probably a little bit late doing this video, but one thing or another, this is when I could do it. So it's probably all sold out because there was only 2,200 bottles. And this kind of reimagining of this old 15 that, as I say, was last available in the year 2000 is bottled at cask strength. It's 56.4%. It's natural colour, non-chill filtered, and is made up of 3 different pot stills. There's a lighter pot still, there's a medium pot still, and then there's a heavier pot still, with also a mix of bourbon and sherry casks as well between those 3 things, but all minimum 15 years old, and the oldest is 17 years old. So yeah, very, very exciting. As I say, probably sold out, even though it was going for what, €300 a bottle, and that's a half-litre bottle as well. So you know, quite crunchy on the price, but I'm sure it's sold out. I'll need to check actually, but if not, then you might be able to still pick up a bottle. Or of course, you know, these days secondary market on whiskey auctions is going to be there for you as well. But I think without further ado, I've been like rattling on for 5 minutes, which ooh, camera almost blew over there. We didn't want that. So there we are. There we are. I think we're safe. It's lucky I was able to catch the camera there. But I think we should have a taste. Lovely sort of deep gold colour there. Let's pop that down a second. So let's have a smell and a taste. This is really, there's a lot of, as you tend to get with older Irish pot still whiskies, you get a lot of tropical fruit. What is a pot still whiskey? Some of you might not know. Just sitting here assuming that everyone knows, but I shouldn't. Pot still whiskey is a whiskey that's made of malted barley, but also some unmalted barley in there as well, and it's really unique to Ireland. Nowhere else that I can think of really makes a pot still whiskey. And it came about when the tax on malted barley in Ireland was very, very high, so people kind of got around that by sticking in some unmalted barley to lower the cost, so they could still make whiskey. But it just gives this very characterful note. It's normally quite spicy, and then when it gets older it's quite fruity with this sort of tropical fruit. So I'm definitely getting there. There's some milk chocolate, some lovely dusty like cocoa powder, cinnamon as well, a lot of vanilla, almost like vanilla custard, one of those vanilla custard tarts you get from like a good patisserie. Yeah, let's have a taste. It's quite gripping. You know, 56.4%, it's going to be pretty gripping. But once that kind of, it's quite gingery actually, like gingerbread, got a lovely warmth to it, a bit of pepperiness. It's starting to subside, and you're getting a lot of golden syrup. There's some fudge and toffee, butterscotch, something like that. But then comes through this sort of wave of tropical fruits, and it's like it's a bit like dried mango in there, but generally it's a little bit like juicier than that, just like a peach, apricot, pineapple sort of compote or something like that. Really quite deep flavours. Underneath you've got this lovely chocolatey note and vanilla, this vanilla custard, like these vanilla custard tarts. I can't get that out of my head. It's absolutely delicious. Let's have another taste. Now there's something a little bit greener, green apple in there as well, maybe red apple, like the red apple skin. And yeah, some a bit more honey, golden syrup in there as well. Yeah, really quite delicious. Something quite confected, almost like sort of candied lemons or oranges. Yeah, very, very nice. So yeah, obviously it'd be very interesting to see it's still going. You know, it's got such, this is what you get with high ABV, you know. You probably should add a bit of water as well, because it really sort of softens up, becomes quite fudgy and toffee like that. But with these high ABV whiskies you get this wonderfully long finish. Very, very good. It goes on and on and on. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what Jameson do with this. They've obviously got some whiskies in the pipeline for like both of these tracks, the remastered and and the remixed, but it will be interesting to see sort of how the series, this Jameson Anthology, develops. So yeah, check it out. I've written a blog post about it as well, so if you want to check on the blog, you know, I'd love for you to read and leave a comment, see what you think of our review. But same with this. But I think that's probably about it. I'll leave you to get on with doing whatever you were doing before you discovered this video. And from myself and the Jameson 15-year-old single pot still, we will bid you farewell and see you at the next allotment dram. Cheers.